it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini, here with another gay gamer video podcast. I have no movie review this time, because I did not go to the movies. Mostly because there was nothing that I really wanted to see that badly that I was willing to risk going to a public space with a bunch of other people. I don't want to ride the subway, I don't want to sit in a movie theater. AMC has said that they're cutting attendance in half. They're cutting the seats in half so that no one has to sit next to anybody. But I still am like, is it really worth it to see The Hunt? No. I can see that on Netflix, it's fine. And anything that I actually want to see, those release dates are being postponed for a while, so we'll see. I'm not going to get my money's worth out of my subscription this month, I don't think. I don't know about next month. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, I've been working at home. I've started working at home now, because I can, and the company is like, go ahead, which is good, because I don't have to ride the subway with all those other people and risk someone coughing. So I've been working from home, which means no commute, which means that I have to find time to play Animal Crossing. And I'm also not really playing The Witcher, because that was my Switch game, and I would like play it on the train, and then I would continue playing it when I got home, because I wanted to finish that mission or whatever. But now that's not happening, and I also have another game to play at home, which I'm playing my PlayStation at home, and my Switch is my portable console, so it's not getting as much play. Although I did try Tetris 99, because it was free, and why not? It's not something that I would ever pay for. Like, even if it was like $4.99, I still don't think that I would have actually paid for it. Because, I mean, Tetris is fun, but I'm not good. Like, I'm okay with the puzzle games like Tetris or Bust a Move or whatever, but like, I'm not okay when it becomes a versus situation and people are dumping blocks on you, and then you know. So here I've got, 98 other people dumping blocks on me, and it's not a good situation. And I'm not very good at it. I think I was like 69th or something. It's like, I didn't last very long. And then I was waiting to see, how it stacked up, to see who would win, but it was taking so long because basically everyone who's playing, who are in like the top 30 or so, they're really good at it, so they're going to stay going. That game's going to go for a little while. Like in the beginning, like people were going out, then there was like a pause, and then there were some more people that went out, and then it like paused, and then it was like, okay, here's one, okay, here's another, here's a couple more, here's another. And then there was like nothing, because everybody that was playing had plenty of space left because they're really good at the game. I'm not. Because also, they're able to incorporate the strategies of like who to attack, and putting a piece in reserve for later. I can't think like that, because when I play something like Tetris, it's all I can do to stay alive. That's my strategy. It's just keep staying alive. Get rid of the blocks. That's all I can do. I can't think of anything else. It's just not going to happen. But it's free with Nintendo Online subscription, so I downloaded it, I tried it. I'll probably play it a little bit, but not a whole lot, because I'm not going to be very good at it, so I don't feel like, I'm going to play it so I can get better at it, because it's not going to happen. But it'll be a fun little, like, every so often, just, oh, I got 5 minutes, let me just play some Tetris. And like I said, I'm not playing The Witcher because I got a new game for my PlayStation, which, as I mentioned, is Assassin's Creed Origins. And but I only just started it this past week because, as I said last episode, I wasn't going to start it until I finished Shenmue, because otherwise I'd never go back and finish it. So I finished Shenmue. And some final thoughts. It kind of reminded me why I don't replay games. Like, people play games over and over again, and I'm just like, there's so many new games to play, why am I going to play this again? So, but I had never finished Shenmue 2, so the pack of 1 and 2 was very cheap, and I said, okay, fine, and I went ahead and got it, but I had to play 1 before I played 2, because, I mean, come on. So, and thankfully they're not like super long games, at least they're not supposed to be. They're artificially long sometimes, but like I enjoyed it, but the nostalgia was what made me enjoy it, not the actual game so much, because like I'm okay with like the graphics where everything's a little blocky and not so pretty. Like that's fine. It's a retro game. It's an old game. It's from the 90s. Like it's not going to look like Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, come on. So that's fine. And the stilted voice acting, the awkwardness was actually kind of charming in that retro way. So that's fine. But the gameplay, I had some issues with. It was I remember loving this game when it first came out. It was like one of the first open world games, and it was just like the freedom to go wherever and like do what you want, talk to this person, go into this shop, you know, have this fight, you know, like buy capsule toys, whatever. Like you could, that kind of freedom was like amazing for a video game. You're like, whoa. So, but now it's very commonplace. So going back and playing this, you're like, oh, it's very limited. I can't really do a whole lot, you know. It seemed like a lot at the time, but now looking back, it's like, eh. And the QuickTime events drove me crazy. I don't necessarily mind QuickTime events. They're not great, but okay. But I felt like these all were like, I just needed like a half a second more to press the button. Like I just wasn't quite quick enough, and I don't know if that's their fault or if my reflexes are just old now. I probably had to redo this many when I played it back in the 90s, though. I think my reflexes aren't getting slower, they're just always bad. But it's like, I had to redo things so often. Like, I could have finished Shenmue in, like, half the time if I didn't have to keep redoing things, because I kept failing the fight or the QuickTime event or whatever. And it was just, it got like really repetitive, and it's just like, oh my god, how many times am I going to have to do this? And it's not the skill of like seeing the button and pressing it fast. That's how it's meant to be, but because it's too quick that you keep failing and then you have to do it again, and it becomes memorization, where you're like, okay, down, left, X, right, O. Okay, circle. You know, and you're like memorizing which buttons to press so that you know the sequence so that you can get through that section. And it's not so much like, you know, and getting it. You know, you're just memorizing it, and that's not as much fun. Also, like, there's a bit at the end where I don't know how I did this part originally in the 90s. I'm assuming that I went on some kind of like rudimentary message board on the internet and looked something up, because I had no idea how to get to the warehouse district to rescue Nozomi, because I had known, because I had checked a walkthrough for something else and I had seen something about a motorcycle, and I was like, oh, bosses aren't running at 1 in the morning, I have to get a motorcycle. And so I go to the motorcycle bar where they hang out at night, but I couldn't do anything to those motorcycles. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked back at the walkthrough again, and in the area before the downtown district, in the residential area, there's a motorcycle parked like down a side street, and you have to buzz the intercom to wake the guy up and ask him if you can borrow his bike. And I'm like, how in the hell am I supposed to know to do that? Like, even if I had scoured the downtown district and said, okay, I can't touch these motorcycles, I don't know what to do, let me go look at an earlier area and see, I might have seen that motorcycle, but I would have been trying to take the motorcycle and it wouldn't have worked. And I wouldn't have known that little box on the wall is an intercom that I should touch. Like, how would you even know that? So, it's stuff like that that's sort of, like, awkward. And the repetition of having to keep redoing things, and oh my god, every time I fail, thankfully I only failed that motorcycle race against time, like, I think I failed it like 3 or 4 times. I think I did it on my 4th try. Because every time you fail, you had to go back and re-watch the cutscene where he asks to borrow the motorcycle again. And I'm like, why are you making me watch this cutscene again? Why don't you just start at the beginning of the race again? Like, what is the point of making me sit through that cutscene again? And I just feel like it just sort of artificially pads out the game running time, which is annoying. But I did finish it. Sort of an anticlimactic ending. And it's funny because at the time, you're like, that was the end. Like, because there's no guarantee that there's going to be a sequel. And there was, but still, like, and then there wasn't another one, and it's supposed to be like a 5-part series or something ridiculous like that, and it's just like, you get to the end and you're like, well, that was slightly unsatisfying, and I don't know that there's going to be a conclusion to this game series, so maybe you could have given me a little more better ending there, but it's like a cliffhanger, so that's annoying. But it means that I can now play Assassin's Creed Origins before playing Shenmue 2. Take a little break from the Shenmue. And Assassin's Creed Origins is as good as everyone says. However, I will say that I feel like it's not quite as good as Odyssey. Because this was like, I feel like I went off the Assassin's Creed series because it became repetitive and annoying and I just didn't like it anymore. And then Origins came out and I was intrigued and it got good reviews. And it's totally, Origins is like the stepping stone to Odyssey. I feel like Odyssey is like just a more refined version of Origins, because like there's certain things in Origins where I'm like, oh, okay. Like I was thrilled to find out that like you still get the riddles. Here you find a papyrus and you get a riddle that you then solve and you go to that location and you can find a rare weapon item. And I was excited. I was like, oh, these are in here. Good. But like there's certain things where it's like, it's good, but Odyssey like refined it and made it great. I also had a bit of a problem with the story, because the story basically like, it's like The Witcher, where it just throws you in and stuff is happening and there's all these characters and they're talking about stuff and I don't know what's going on. However, The Witcher, I accepted that because it's the third game in an ongoing series. Here, all the Assassin's Creed games are separate stories. So I'm like, why am I not starting at the beginning here? I don't understand. Like, this is a very strange choice. It was very off-putting, and it wasn't until I finished the first area and I had like a flashback scene that I started to say, okay, now I sort of understand like a little bit more of the background, but it still seemed weird to start in the middle, kind of, or at least the middle of the beginning, I guess. Because he's not actually an assassin yet. He doesn't have the blade. So I'm assuming that at some point during the game he's going to get the blade, because right now, when I assassinate people, I'm just taking them down. Although I do love when you get to a sleeping guy and you just foot stomp him, and that's kind of awesome. I enjoy that a great deal. But like, Ancient Egypt is gorgeous and lovely and wonderful, and I am very much enjoying it, though the story is slightly hard to get into, because, like I said, we're like sort of in the middle, and it isn't as strong a story as I felt Odyssey's story was. Like, Odyssey's story had like momentum and a reason to keep journeying and exploring. But yeah, Origins is really good, and I'm glad I'm playing it. So, come back next episode, and we'll discuss some more Assassin's Creed Origins thoughts, but no, you know what's happening next weekend, because next Friday, it's only 5 days away, Animal Crossing New Horizons, woo! Very sad to say goodbye to my New Leaf Town, but it is time, and I'm cautiously excited about my island adventure. So that's basically what next episode is going to be all about. So if you don't care about that, you could probably just pretty much skip that. There probably won't be a whole lot else going on aside from Animal Crossing. But if I'm going to be stuck quarantined inside my house because of a pandemic, I will enjoy visiting my desert island home and interacting with everybody and my friends, and visiting other island homes, because I can't leave my own house. I can virtually leave and visit other people. So come back then, and we'll see how much I enjoy the new Animal Crossing. Fingers crossed, it's awesome. I hope. Please be awesome. please don't suck.